Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to our second live stream of the day. I'm doing more live streams today than I have ever done in the history of this channel. I've done two today, and I did one prior to today. And today, this is going to be the debut on our live stream of the Grand Slam Wrestling Match of the Week. We have Farmer Burns going up against Brazo de Plata, who was one of the trio in CMLL in the 90s called the Brazos. There was El Brazo, there was Brazo de Oro, and there was Brazo de Plata. And they were champion trio team, a six-man, what they would call a six-man tag team in American wrestling. But first, we will go over the results that have already occurred on this card. If I could do this, and I can. Very good. Earlier in this card from virtually Honolulu, Hawaii, week 36 of year 3, Ric Flair defeated Ken Wayne in the Nightmares by count out in 3:44. J.J. Dillon has a little bit of a crew going. He has Chris Jericho. He's got the Big Show. He's got Bug Sawyer, and he's got Brock Lesnar, and it was Jericho fighting Giant Baba, and Baba won by a DQ, and J.J. Dillon interfered after 6:06. The Japanese tag team of Misawa and Toshiaki Kawada, they went to a double disqualification against Chronic in 8:22. Nick Bockwinkel easily defeated by Bullet Bob Armstrong, who's been on a tear as of late. Armstrong scored the pin in 1 minute 20 seconds. Fishman went to a draw against Pat O'Connor, 30-minute draw. Our preliminary matches are all 30-minute time limits. Black Japan, the tag team of Great Muta and Masahiro Chono, they won by DQ over the Kalmakovs, the Russian duo from the 50s. They got a little rough early in the bout, and the referee was not tolerating any of their BS, so they were quickly disqualified in 1 minute and 41 seconds. Paul Jones, number one Paul Jones from the 70s and 80s, was once Mr. Florida in 1980 in Florida. Where else would he be? He lost to Antonio Inoki on a top rope knee drop at 10:35. When we had the upset of the night, we had the Road Warriors, who just won the Western Tag Titles a few weeks ago, lose to the NWO Outsiders. They are the brand new Western Tag Team Champions at 17:54 as Kevin Nash pinned Animal with a wicked clothesline. Koji Kawamoto was the Western champion, but he got injured. Each week, I do a random draw, see if any of the wrestlers on the roster. And I have 265 on my singles roster, and I have about 70 tag team rosters. I checked them all to see if anybody got hurt. Koji Kawamoto wound up getting an injury and will be out several weeks. So we had to decide who would be the new Western Heavyweight Champion, and it's Vader time. It's Big Van Vader time as he defeated Tiger Mask. Mask was favoring an injured back from last week. Vader is the new champ, 17 minutes, 11 seconds with a body slam. Tiger Mask, of course, much smaller than Vader was, and he was very little match for the Big Van Vader. So Big Van Vader will get... see who we will get. Antonio Inoki first, and the Outsiders in the Western Circuit will get Black Japan next week as they defend their titles. And we're 3 weeks away from the Okerlund Cup, which is the 8-team tournament, where any and all belts are at stake, and we could wind up with one team being the champion of all 4 circuits, or you could find a regional champion become a world champion. You could have friend against friend, foe against foe. It'll be an exciting little tournament. And we'll have some very important side matches along with it, including John Pezic, who is now about to face Andre the Giant in the North. He will get a shot at Farmer Burns' World Heavyweight Championship, and Pezic did win in earlier times the GSW World Heavyweight Championship beforehand. But on to tonight's match of note, which is going to be Farmer Burns taking on Brazo de Plata. We are all set up and ready to go. And I will bring up my screen. And I have to change what I share, folks, so just stand by a moment. And we're off. Farmer Burns against Brazo de Plata. The Plata won a match by countout last week in the Western Circuit, and that was the best result amongst the heels, so that is why he is facing Farmer Burns tonight. One fall, a 60-minute time limit. So if the Plata could pull off the Buster Douglas-like upset, he has 60 minutes to do so. He has to score a submission or a pin, and we're underway. Farmer Burns, of course, the champion. He has been champ since week 26 of year 2, and we are in week 36 now. So he has now been champion 62 weeks, if my math is correct, or 63, depending on how you want to decide it. And the Plata wanted to attack Burns before the bell, but the referee interceded. Legal punches by Brazo de Plata, who is also known in CMLL, and he had a brief stint in the World Wrestling Federation as Super Porky. That's what they call him because he is short, but he is wide. And he scores the first blow against Farmer Burns, and he is up. You can tell his grandchildren that he once had a lead on Farmer Burns. He has scored up the first 6 points off of Farmer Burns. Wrestling Finest coming out with version 3, and when this video is posted onto YouTube, I will post a link to Tommy Vogel's channel, and I'll give you the link for the brand new version of Wrestling 3 for anybody who would be interested. Legal chop by Burns, but it was countered by Brazo de Plata. An illegal hair pull by Brazo de Plata. Burns does have a little bit of a mane on his head and a little bit above his lips, of course, too. They like to wear the mustaches back then. Outside the ring action, arm holds used by Brazo de Plata. A kick just above the belt against Farmer Burns. So Brazo de Plata wearing Farmer down a little bit. And Plata thought the ref was going to step in, and it loses control. Burns now has control and a stomp on the shoulder of Brazo de Plata. That's a 5-point loss. Neckbreaker by Farmer Burns, and that's 7 more points. Punches, 5 more points gone. And Farmer Burns used a strategy card, but it was countered by Brazo de Plata. De Plata with a slight lead, minus 17 damage to minus 20. If anybody gets to minus 90 on cuts, that's an automatic stoppage, because this game kind of simulates what went on in the 80s, where wrestlers could lose on cuts and lose on more ways via disqualification. Neck hold by Burns, speed move by Burns, which was countered, and a rope move. So we have a pinning combination. I don't know if you could see that, so I'm going to move that over here a little bit. And you're not going to get Farmer Burns this early. No, sir. De Plata drops from the ropes and delivers a flying knee drop. That's 14 points off of Burns' stats. Neck hold countered by De Plata. Leg hold by De Plata. And De Plata accounting for himself surprisingly well so far. You were thinking this was going to be Larry Holmes against Marvis Frazier back in 1983. You were mistaken. Chopped to the midsection by De Plata. So De Plata holding himself up very nicely here. Full Nelson roll. And again, I have to move my pin counter here. And this has about a 50-50 chance of being it. And De Plata finds the ropes. Specialty move. Back to the spinning toe hold, and that spinning toe hold has been many the end for a night. And De Plata has to find a way to kick out of this, because this looks like a very likely pin. 1, 2, and De Plata is disqualified. I think that was Ric Flair who jumped in. Well, you can't mistake his flowing blonde hair. It's Flair, who has moved up in the ranks a little bit. He wants a shot at De Plata, not De Plata, but Farmer Burns, and he has given Farmer Burns some of his toughest battles. Disqualified for interference is De Plata, and the match went 8 minutes and 43 seconds. So there you go, folks. We didn't think the match would go very long, and it didn't surprise me. Farmer Burns, your winner, at 8 minutes and 43 seconds into the bout. So Farmer Burns keeps his World Heavyweight title. And the next man with probably the most realistic chance of beating him is probably John Pezic in 3 weeks at Okerlund Cup at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. So I will drop the link to version 3 about to come out for Wrestling's Finest. So if you're interested in getting this game and playing it for yourself, by all means, as Gordon Soley used to say. And for now, this has been Big Paulie coming to you. We will catch you again real soon. God bless and Godspeed, and we'll catch you again next time. Bye-bye for now, everybody.